Ransom, the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. In this myth, a prince named Theseus risks his own life to stop the deadly payment of human lives that his father is forced to make to a cruel enemy. To win his gamble, Theseus will have to overcome the Minotaur, a raging human-eating bull, as well as the depths of the deep blue sea.
On the island of Crete lived a cruel and powerful king by the name of Minos. People all over the Greek world feared his army and navy, and paid heavy fees Minos demanded, just to be left alone. The people of Athens had to pay an especially heavy price. Minos' son had died on a visit to Athens, so Minos made Athens pay blood money to make sure that this tragic event would never be forgotten.
Every 9 years, the king of Athens, Aegeus, had to send 7 young men and 7 young women to Crete. Choosing those 14 youths was agony, because everyone knew what their horrible fate would be. In exchange for peace for the rest of Athens, those unlucky victims would be taken to Crete and fed to a deadly creature owned by King Minos. Its name was the Minotaur.
The Minotaur had the head of a bull, but and a body of a human. It was large and powerful, and lived on a diet of humans that it hunted down. Because it was so deadly, Minos kept the Minotaur in a massive maze called the Labyrinth to make sure it never, ever escaped.
The victims from Athens were brought to the labyrinth one by one and left there until the Minotaur found them. Lost and confused, they never knew when they would meet their fate. No one ever escaped.
Your time is up, King. Minos says that you must be prepared to give him your next batch of youths when he arrives tomorrow. He says that if you're slow in choosing them, he will destroy Athens and take even more victims himself.
Is there no way out of this terrible bargain? To save our city, we must send our children to their deaths. But there's no choice. Quickly, we must hold a lottery and choose who must go to Crete.
Father, wait. We can't just send those people off to die. Why, they're the same age that I am. We've got to do something.
No, my son. As long as the Minotaur lives and Minos keeps demanding his ransom, there is no way out.
Then send me as one of the 14. I know that I can defeat that evil beast and put a stop to Minos' cruel game.
Sending these young people to their deaths is bad enough for me, but if I lose you too, my heart would break. Then Athens would be without its king and its prince.
But I can win. With the gods on my side, I won't fail you or our people.
The king saw something in his son's eyes that gave him hope. He knew that the gods loved his son and would watch over him, so he let him go as one of the victims. Instead of wearing his royal robes, Theseus put on a simple white tunic worn by the other 13 youths. He also left behind his royal ring his father had given him. Now no one would know he was the king's son.
Theseus, I want you to take these white sails with you. If you succeed in your mission, hoist the white sails on your ship instead of black sails that our sailors normally use. I'll watch the sea every day and pray that I see your white sails heading toward home.
The next day, King Minos arrived to collect the victims. He gloated as the youths, including Theseus, were led to a ship. The Theseus stood tall. His companions leapt as they left their friends and family, expecting never to see them again. The trip to Crete was long and gloomy, but not for Minos. He enjoyed hearing the victims' sobs and mocked them whenever he felt like it.
My pet is very hungry. It's been 9 years since he's had some Athenians over for dinner. You'll make a splendid 14-course meal for my bullish friend.
Watch out, King Minos. The gods will punish you for putting us through this torture.
Oh, a rebel.
I know the gods are on the side of right. That is, on our side.
Oh, really? Let's check the score so far. You were chosen by lottery to become a human sacrifice. You were abandoned by your family and friends and given a one-way ride to a bullpen of a man-eating monster. Look at me. On the other hand, I'm rich and powerful king. I wonder whose side the gods are on.
It's true. You've had your fun, but soon it's going to be over.
Minos could see that his bold fellow was getting his crew nervous. He knew that, with all the talk about the gods, it would look bad to kill Theseus right there. But Minos had always had an evil scheme when he needed one.
Enough already with this talk. We'll have a little test that will prove whether the gods are really interested in helping you. I'll drop one of my rings in the ocean. If the gods will favor you, you'll dive in and bring me my ring back.
That's a deal.
Minos took a plain-looking ring off his finger and threw it into the sea. Like a shot, Theseus dove off the edge of the ship to retrieve it.
Set all the sails. Let's get the ship moving.
But your highness, shouldn't we wait for that youth to come back up? He'll never be able to catch up with our ship. We'd be leaving him here to drown.
Oh, really? What a pity that would be. Everyone who doesn't obey my orders will be an appetizer for the Minotaur. Set all the sails.
Under the waves, Theseus began to regret his boldness. His lungs were ready to burst, and the sea was cold and dark. How could he ever find that ring?
But the gods did not forget Theseus. Just when it seemed he couldn't last any longer, Theseus found that he could breathe underwater. Then he felt two things brush up on either side of him. Sharks, his mind screamed. But there were dolphins, friendly dolphins on either side of him, who had come to his guides. Theseus grabbed hold of their fins, and they pulled him farther and farther into the watery deep. At last, they reached the realm of the mermaids.
Their caves at the bottom of the sea were filled with gold and silver treasures taken from sunken ships. One mermaid swam up to Theseus with King Minos' ring already in her hand.
It's not such a beautiful ring. I can't see why you came all this way just to get it. But here, you can have it.
After that, the dolphins pulled Theseus onto Crete, ahead of Minos' ship, so he was there to greet the king when the ship arrived. Minos was shocked, but said nothing except to order Theseus back with the other victims.
Chain him up with all the others, and take him to the palace dungeon. If the gods are really on his side, they'll save him from the Minotaur. No one else can.
Ariadne, Minos' daughter, watched from her palace window as the victims trudged to the prison where they would be held until they were placed in the labyrinth.
I wonder who that fellow is in front of the line. He seems so brave for someone who's about to die. Oh, why does my father do these horrible things?
She fell in love with Theseus at first sight and promised herself that she would not let him die like all the others. Perhaps he could even help her escape from her evil father.
While the guards were sleeping, Ariadne crept to the cell where Theseus was being held.
Wake up, but don't make a sound.
Did the king send you to torment me?
No, I'm Minos' daughter, but I want to help save you from the Minotaur.
Is this some kind of trick?
Listen to me. No matter how brave you are, you'll die without my help. Even if the Minotaur doesn't kill you, you'll be trapped in the labyrinth forever. Here, take this ball of string. Once they shut you inside the labyrinth, tie this end of the string to the doorway. When you move around inside, pull the string with you. Then, if you're successful and you defeat the Minotaur, you can follow the string back to safety.
But how can I find the beast before it finds me?
The Minotaur is lazy. It thinks it can find its victims anytime it wants. It sleeps late. You must find it while it's sleeping and surprise it. That's your only hope of winning.
What can I do to repay you for your help?
Help me escape from this island. I can't stand my father and his wicked ways.
It's a deal. When I leave this island with my friends from Athens, we'll take you with us.
The next day, a smiling and singing Minos visited the young Athenians in prison.
Well, the time has come for the Minotaur to be fed. Any volunteers for the first round?
Let me be first. I think the gods will protect me.
I couldn't have picked a better candidate. Bring him to the labyrinth at dawn tomorrow. Let's start 14 days of feasting to celebrate our little agreement with Athens.
Theseus was brought to the entrance of the maze just before sunrise the next day. There he stopped and turned to address Minos one more time before entering.
This bloodshed will end and Athens will no longer feed the Minotaur.
Then he was shoved inside the maze and the door slammed behind him. Though the others' victims had to be forced at a sword point into its scary paths, Theseus seemed almost glad to be entering the labyrinth.
I must say, I've never had such a willing sacrifice. What a relief. Now that troublemaker is gone, I'm sure the others will give me no problem.
Theseus didn't forget what Ariadne had told him. He had hidden the string under his clothes. While speaking to Minos, he had secretly attached the end of the string to the maze's doorway. Now he was ready to move